going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 4 of starting a clothing brand from scratch, and we're doing some big things right now currently, and I wanted to kind of show you guys what we're doing, what we're working on. I'm in the process of setting up my website just so that I have a rough idea of what it's going to look like once I have products to actually shoot and put up on the website. And then another thing that I'm doing as well is setting up my SMS flow and email flow, because obviously I want to be collecting information before I actually do the launch. I said in the last video, for email and text message, I was using Klaviyo. I think what I'm gonna do now is move over to Postscript for my SMS flow and then keep Klaviyo for my email flow. So it's separating the platforms a little bit. It might get a little bit confusing to start, but if I specifically focus on one thing versus the other, I think that'll be super helpful. We're playing around with it, so that's what we're gonna do. Set up my Postscript account. Now, slight issues with this and something to keep in mind for you guys if you are using this series as a bit of a learning tool while I'm learning as well, is that with any sort of SMS marketing, you need to follow rules essentially when it comes to texting people and marketing in general. What I had to do was I had to set up a toll-free number, right? And that is essentially going to be a designated number that Postscript provides me to then be able to text you guys from when I'm doing my SMS campaigns. I had to register the number and I had to verify it, and it takes about 5 to 10 business days for them to actually verify it and make sure that you're not scamming people or setting up like a scam account. So that's what's happening right now. I just did that 20-30 minutes ago. With Postscript, they make it pretty simple with how you actually do anything, and it's really nice because they actually give you $1,000 credit to start off. In the acquisition section, in this list growth tools, I went and I created a opt-in link. So this thing right here, this opt-in link right here. And what I did was I went in and I set up different things. So when it comes to your SMS flow, what I'm gonna do is have people subscribe to the SMS campaigns by providing them with a link that if they click on it, it'll prompt them to go to their messaging app, and then they'll just have to send the text message to actually opt in. It cuts the ability of people to have to go into a website and then manually input their information. All they have to do is press send. Everything is generated there and they don't have to do any extra work, and then it'll automatically subscribe them to the list. So what I did was I set up keywords that I want people to use. So for example, I have 29 sub, and so that's just basically the generic subscription text message. And then I also have a 29 save 15, and so that one would be where people would text that keyword to the number, and then they would then get a 15% discount code. That's not active yet, obviously, because I don't have any products, but with a 29 sub one, that is active because I want to be collecting information. You can see I already have it all set up. What Postscript does is they will set up a page on your Shopify account so that if people are browsing on their desktop and they press the link, it'll shoot them to this Shopify page. And that just essentially gives you the ability to collect information, whether people are on their mobile device or their desktop. Just for a little bit of clarity around that, if somebody's browsing on their mobile device and they click the link, it will then automatically open up their text messaging app with filled out information, where all they have to do is press send. If they're browsing on their desktop, then it'll bring them to a separate page attached to your Shopify account where they can still input their own information, put in their phone number, for example. With this specific type of campaign or marketing, I guess, that I'm doing to grow my SMS subscriber list, I'm banking on people finding my website through Instagram, through TikTok, using their phone. Postscript sets this all up for you as a backup option if people are on their desktop and not their mobile device. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my Shopify store really quick. So I'm gonna exit that there and go to my pages, just so I can show you guys what was created by Postscript. And so you can customize some of this. It is like a kind of coded into whatever Postscript made, but you can obviously customize the text. But you can't really customize anything else that I know of right now. But I changed this so that it says to join the VIP waitlist, and then I also changed this as well. Postscripts will automatically create this page. For example, I'll just open the page for you, and this is what would pop up if somebody pressed the link on their desktop. All they would do, put in their phone number, subscribe. T's and C's are all here, so you know you're covered legally. So they would essentially just put in their phone number, they subscribe, and then that would automatically populate into your Postscript account as a SMS contact. Now for your phone, if I were to go into Google and I were to put in 29collective.com, okay, so let's say for example somebody was on their mobile device, and let's say I had my website linked in my Instagram bio, or I wanted to send out this link and I wanted people to open it on their mobile phone. So I'm just gonna open it here. So if it was 29collective.com, and then because my page is password protected, this is the page that it'll bring them to on the mobile device. Going to 29collective.com, and now that I'm looking at it, this button doesn't actually look like a button, so I need to change that. But essentially if they were to click the button, what will happen is it redirects them to with a link, and it'll then automatically open up their messaging app. And this text message or this phone number here, 21888 blah blah blah, this is my Postscript's account number, and it'll send it from their phone number, if that makes sense, from the customer's phone number. Basically just letting them know what they're subscribing to, what they're going to be receiving. It could be marketing materials, it could be cart reminders, stuff like that. And it also sends them a discount code if you want to put that into your text message, because you can have that set up so that when they do their first purchase, they can use a discount code to save 15% off, for example. Basically what the person would do is they would just press send, and that would automatically subscribe them into the SMS marketing flow, and then their contact information would then become part of your acquisition list. I just found out recently how to actually do that through Postscripts. I don't know if you can do that with Klaviyo. I haven't looked into it. You might be able to. I just saw another clothing brand creator use this kind of process, and it really makes sense. I feel like most people are on their phones. Most people are going to be clicking the link through an Instagram story or through an Instagram bio, and so it makes sense to have that automatic kind of pop-up that people will click onto once they get into the website. Like I said in the last video, I am using Shopify for the e-commerce platform, and I think Shopify is just like one of the best, if not the best, e-commerce platform in terms of like setting up your website and being able to kind of ease of use for beginners, and just setting up brand collections and stuff like that. There's so much that I need to learn when it comes to my actual website setup. Like, how am I gonna set this up to make it look more attractive, more appealing to people who are coming into my website? What's gonna make them buy? It's a learning process, learning curve. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm learning how to do this on my own. So like the way that I'm expressing this kind of teaching, if you wanna call it that, is just how I learned it. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But in some capacity, I hope that it's helpful. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, I will check in with you guys a little bit later. What's going on, guys? We just got back from the gym. I got a message from my manufacturer last night around like midnight or 1 a.m. or something, saying that they had some photos of the embroidery that they had done on the hoodies that we've been working on. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys those, because I'm pretty happy with how they turned out, to be honest. They look really good. So I'm gonna pop the screenshot up here of what they actually said to me. They essentially have the embroidery done for the hoodies, and the embroidery that they did on the sweatpants is not good enough. And they're gonna remake a better one, is what they said. So that's awesome to hear, because that means that they're taking what I said to them seriously about my brand being a premium, high quality brand. Before I paid for the samples and everything, I basically stated out that the brand I'm trying to create is a premium product brand, that the manufacturer that I have to work with has to be able to produce this kind of premium quality. So that means that the embroidery is sharp, there's no like loose stitching, the fabric is top notch. They guaranteed me a lot before I paid for the sample, and so it's really nice to see that they're actually taking that seriously by them saying that they're going to remake the pants because the embroidery is not up to standard. I'm gonna show you guys the actual embroidery that they did. So we got 2 pieces of embroidery done. There's one on the front, one on the back. It's very surreal to see the pieces of a hoodie before they are together. See like what I'm gonna pop up on screen right now as the pieces of the hoodie, the individual pieces of the hoodie, and to see it before it actually comes together and becomes the hoodie is very cool. This is the front embroidery that we're doing. This is the 29 Collective logo. The lines are really nice, they're sharp, and especially for like this kind of like dainty handwriting, I feel like this embroidery looks really clean. We also had one done on the back, and this is the 29 Collective's brand tagline. So this is just in the back corner of the hoodie. Really clean, really nice. Everything's really easy to read. That's a little update on that. Super excited to be able to actually show you guys something that is like legit, besides like a mock-up and like random photos. I think it's probably gonna be like maybe another week before the hoodie is assembled, and then obviously we gotta wait for the sweatpants to be redone, but I'm hoping to get these before Chinese New Year. I think that's coming up at the end of January for them, and I want to be able to order one more round of samples because I have other ideas, and I think it would be cool to have 2 different options that I can play around with and pick from before I start marketing and deciding to do like a full launch. That's where we're at. Little update for you guys. I'll check in with you guys later. We're officially into 2025. It is January 2nd, 12:32 p.m. Not that that matters at all, but we're into the new year. But I wanted to give you guys like a quick little update on some stuff that I did over the last couple of days, because obviously throughout this video I showed you guys how I was setting up my website and stuff like that, and kind of a rundown on how you actually do that. I also shared with you guys some updates on the hoodies and where things are at with that. I got an update from my manufacturer yesterday saying that by next week, probably like January 6th to like the 10th or something like that, the hoodie and the sweats should be complete and they're gonna be sewn and ready to be shipped out. And then after that, it'll be about 4 to 7 days to receive it. So by about January, I would say by like January 15th, maybe January 17th, like the end of the week, I should have the hoodie and the sweat samples in hand. Another thing that I did was I can't remember if I said it earlier in the video, but basically I've been looking for a new hat manufacturer, because if you guys saw the first or the second video, we did the sample unboxing, and the hats were they were just not really good, you know? Here's a little bit of unsolicited advice. If a manufacturer that you use is gonna send you samples that has a ton of issues off the rip, it's generally not going to be a great manufacturer to work with. That's just personal opinion, especially because the issues were manufacturing flaws, not design flaws. If you guys saw it, maybe I'll pop up some clips here, but the lining of the hat was showing through the bottom of the thing. The stitching was extremely messy, which was like very disappointing. That's a big red flag right there. And just how they were communicating back and forth with me after the fact, they were like basically just giving me excuses on how it's a machine that they can't control if it's messy or not. I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense. I wish that I just spent a little bit of extra time looking for a manufacturer before placing a sample order, because I think I would have saved money and time. But essentially the one that I found now is very good. I paid for a sample and it's about a 15-day lead time. I submitted the design yesterday, I think. We clarified everything yesterday. So I should have the sample for the hat in about 2 weeks as well, which means that I'll have a full set. I'll have the hoodie and sweats, and then the hat from a different manufacturer, hopefully around the same time. Something that I really need to keep in mind right now is that Chinese New Year comes up in, I think it's in January. It's like January 20th or January 29th or something like that. And they're basically off work for a month. So something that I'm really thinking about right now is when I'm gonna start doing a launch because of that 1 month break that China will have. I'll hopefully have the samples in about 2 weeks, and then I'll be able to confirm a bulk order or something like that just before they go on holiday. I don't really know, but I think we're gonna be banking for about, I would say, a mid-March, late March launch. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure yet. Really, realistically, am I gonna be able to launch before March? And it's probably not gonna happen because of that 1 month break. I still need to sample one more hoodie and sweatpants design. Well, maybe I don't need to sample it. Once I get the sample for the current hoodie, I think I should be good to just continue, like if everything turns out well with the sample, I should be able to just continue using that manufacturer. And I'll probably use the same sizing and everything for the first little bit, because it was custom sizing, and I'll just be able to adjust logos and create different designs, but I should be able to not do samples with those because I know what they'll look like. So we got one more round of samples for the hats in the works. Should be getting that in 2 weeks. Hoodies and sweats should be completed next week and then they'll be shipped. So then I should be getting those again in 2 weeks. I have set up the website for 29 Collective. I showed you guys that. And if you go to the website, it's going to put you into the SMS waitlist if you guys feel like you want to sign up for that. So you can go ahead and do that. I would appreciate the support. And again, if you guys want to have input in the brand and you guys just want to have conversations and talk, feel free to jump into the Discord. I'm going to have it linked in the description. But other than that, I think we're going to wrap the video here. That is episode 4 in the books, team. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you're enjoying this series. I feel like I'm learning so much, and being able to communicate my learnings to you guys is helping me in a way. And so I hope it's helping you as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Do the whole thing. And go and check out 29 Collective on Instagram. I can't wait to start posting some legit stuff over there. And I would just appreciate a follow on the gram. So thank you guys and have a fantastic day. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.